Welcome to Coin Discovery USA, the place where ordinary pocket change can become the start of an exciting treasure hunt and where collectors, history lovers, and curious viewers gather to explore the fascinating stories hidden within everyday coins that many people pass by without even noticing. And today we are diving into a remarkable possibility that has captured the imagination of coin collectors across the world. The surprising idea that a simple 1984 Lincoln 1-cent coin could under extremely rare circumstances reach an astonishing value of $13 million because of unusual mint errors, striking mistakes, and rare production anomalies that sometimes occur during the complicated process of coin manufacturing at the United States Mint. And while most people see pennies as the smallest and least valuable coins in circulation, the world of numismatics has repeatedly shown that even the most ordinary-looking coins can sometimes become extraordinary treasures when rare. Mint errors combine with exceptional condition and strong collector interest, and that is why experienced collectors carefully examine every coin they encounter, whether it comes from pocket change coin rolls, bank bags, or old jars of pennies stored away for years, because hidden among billions of normal coins there can occasionally be a rare example that carries a unique story from the moment it was created inside the mint. And the 1984 Lincoln cent belongs to the famous Lincoln penny series that began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, becoming the first real historical figure ever featured on a circulating United States coin and quickly becoming one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. And over the decades, Lincoln cents have traveled through countless hands in grocery stores, banks, restaurants, and homes across the country, quietly carrying the craftsmanship of the minting process while participating in everyday commerce. Yet despite the enormous numbers of coins produced every year, the process of making coins is extremely complex, involving carefully prepared metal blanks, precise mechanical systems, and hardened steel dies that strike the coin's design into metal with tremendous pressure. And whenever something unusual happens during this process, the result can be a coin with distinctive characteristics known as mint errors or varieties, which collectors find fascinating because they reveal what happened inside the mint at the exact moment the coin was struck. And to understand how a 1984 penny could possibly reach such an extraordinary level of interest and potential value, it helps to explore the many types of mint errors and unusual features that collectors search for when examining these coins, because every coin begins its life as a small circular metal blank known as a planchet, which is punched from long strips of metal before being clean polished and prepared for striking. And once the planchet is ready, it travels through a high-speed coin press where two hardened steel dies strike the design onto the metal at the same time, creating the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin and the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, which was used on pennies for many decades until the design changed in later years. And although the minting process is designed to produce millions of identical coins, mechanical systems sometimes experience small variations that lead to fascinating mistakes, and one of the most well-known mint errors collectors search for is the double die error, which occurs during the creation of the die itself when the design is transferred onto the die more than once at slightly different positions or angles, resulting in a die that carries double design elements that appear on every coin struck by that die. And when collectors examine a 1984 Lincoln cent, they often look carefully at the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "I in God we trust," because these areas can sometimes reveal clear signs of doubling if a double die variety exists, and strong double die coins may display dramatic overlapping letters or numbers that are visible even without magnification, creating a striking appearance that immediately attracts the attention of collectors and researchers who specialize in coin varieties. And in fact, the 1984 penny is already known among collectors for a famous double die obverse variety where parts of Lincoln's ear and other design elements appear noticeably doubled, creating a unique appearance that makes the coin stand out from normal examples and demonstrates how even a small difference in the die creation process can produce a fascinating variety that collectors search for. And beyond double dies, there are many other mint errors that could make a 1984 penny extremely collectible, including off-center strike errors, which occur when the metal planchet is not perfectly aligned between the dies at the moment the coin is struck, causing the design to appear shifted toward one side of the coin while leaving a blank curved section where the design did not reach, and off-center coins can range from minor shifts to dramatic misalignments where a large portion of the coin's design is missing, and collectors often prefer examples where the date remains visible because that allows the coin to be clearly identified while still displaying the unusual appearance of the error. And another fascinating minting anomaly is the broad strike error, which occurs when the collar that normally surrounds the coin during the striking process fails to engage properly, allowing the metal to expand outward under the pressure of the dies, creating a coin that appears wider and flatter than normal, and often lacking the raised rim typically seen on a penny. And broad strike coins clearly demonstrate how the minting process can change when equipment does not function exactly as intended, making them interesting collectibles for people who study mint errors. And another category of mint errors involves clipped planchets, which occur earlier in the production process when the metal strip used to punch coin blanks shifts slightly or overlaps, resulting in a blank that is missing a curved or straight section before the design is ever struck onto the coin. And when such a blank passes through the coin press, the finished coin displays a smooth, curved clip along its edge, along with unique metal flow patterns that confirm the clip occurred during the minting process, rather than from damage later in circulation. And collectors carefully examine these characteristics when authenticating clipped planchet coins because genuine examples provide valuable insight into the early stages of coin production. And in addition to these striking errors, there are also die-related anomalies that can develop as the steel dies used in coin presses experience wear and stress after striking thousands, or even millions of coins, because the immense pressure involved in the minting process gradually creates stress within the die, which can eventually lead to fractures known as die cracks that appear on coins as raised lines running across the design, sometimes passing through Lincoln's portrait or across the lettering on the coin. And as these cracks grow larger, they may lead to more dramatic die breaks, where a portion of the die breaks away entirely, creating what collectors call a cut error, leaving a raised irregular area of metal on the coin where the missing piece of the die once existed. And these dramatic errors are fascinating because they reveal how the die changed over time as it continued striking coins during its lifespan. And collectors also search for strike-through errors, which occur when foreign materials such as grease, cloth fibers, or small debris becomes trapped between the die and the planchet during the striking process, preventing part of the design from being fully impressed into the coin, leaving unusual textures or missing details on the surface. And every strike-through error is unique because the material involved and the pressure of the strike can produce different patterns on the finished coin, making these pieces especially interesting for collectors who enjoy studying unusual mint anomalies. And one of the most dramatic possibilities collectors hope to discover is a coin struck on the wrong planchet, where the design intended for a penny is accidentally struck onto a metal blank meant for a completely different denomination, producing a coin that may differ in size, color, thickness, or weight from a normal penny. And such errors are extremely rare but highly dramatic when they occur, because they reveal that a blank intended for another coin somehow entered the penny production line. And if a 1984 Lincoln cent were discovered struck on the wrong planchet, it would instantly become one of the most talked about coin discoveries because of its rarity and unusual appearance. And collectors also examine coins for rotated die errors, which occur when the reverse die is installed at an incorrect angle relative to the obverse die, resulting in coins where the reverse design appears rotated when the coin is flipped vertically. And although some rotated die errors are subtle, others can be dramatic enough to capture the attention of collectors who specialize in unusual mint varieties. And beyond these minting anomalies, another extremely important factor that influences a coin's potential value is its condition, because coins that survive in nearly perfect mint state condition many years after they were produced are surprisingly rare, especially for coins that circulated widely in everyday commerce. And the 1984 penny was produced in very large numbers and used in countless transactions across the country, meaning that most surviving examples today show at least some signs of wear, discoloration, or small scratches from years of handling. Yet occasionally a coin survives in remarkable condition with bright original copper color, strong luster, and crisp design details exactly as they appeared when the coin first left the mint. And such coins are often submitted to professional grading services, where experts carefully evaluate them and assign numerical grades reflecting their level of preservation. And coins that receive the highest possible grades can become extremely desirable because collectors compete to obtain the finest known examples for their collections. And when people talk about the possibility of a 1984 penny reaching a value as extraordinary as $13 million, they are usually imagining an extremely rare scenario in which several remarkable characteristics combine in a single coin, including a dramatic mint error, exceptional preservation, and an extremely limited number of surviving examples that create intense demand among collectors who wish to own a unique piece of numismatic history. And although discoveries of coins worth millions of dollars are extremely rare, the excitement of searching for unusual coins continues to inspire collectors around the world, because history has shown that remarkable finds sometimes appear in unexpected places, such as old jars of change, inherited coin collections, bank rolls of pennies, or even ordinary pocket change that someone decided to examine more closely. And this sense of curiosity and discovery is one of the reasons coin collecting remains such a fascinating hobby, because every coin carries a story about the moment it was created and the journey it has taken through the economy. And the 1984 Lincoln cent reminds us that even the most common-looking coin can hold hidden surprises waiting to be discovered by someone willing to take a closer look, proving that sometimes the smallest coin in your pocket can hold the biggest mystery for those who enjoy the adventure of coin discovery and the excitement of searching for rare treasures hidden within everyday change. Next, the 2015 Lincoln cent. While millions of pennies were produced during this year at the Denver Mint, certain rare examples have drawn attention because of possible minting anomalies and extraordinary conditions that could theoretically push their value into astonishing territory. Under extremely rare circumstances, collectors have speculated that a unique error combination on a 2015 penny could attract values approaching $11 million if the right conditions of rarity, demand, authentication, and collector excitement were to align perfectly. To understand why such a small coin could become so valuable, we first need to understand how coins are made and how minting errors happen during production. At the United States Mint, billions of coins are produced each year using powerful presses that strike blank metal discs known as planchets between engraved dies containing the coin's design. These presses operate at incredible speeds and pressures, stamping designs onto metal blanks thousands of times every hour. Because the process is so fast and complex, small mechanical problems, die wear, alignment issues, debris, or even metal imperfections can occasionally create unusual results. These unusual results are what collectors call mint errors, and when a genuine mint error escapes into circulation, it becomes a fascinating collectible item. In the case of the 2015 Lincoln cent, collectors have carefully examined coins from circulation, searching for signs of unusual striking characteristics that might separate a normal penny from a rare and valuable one. One of the most famous types of errors that could dramatically increase the value of a coin is the doubled die error. A doubled die occurs when the die used to strike coins receives a misaligned impression during its creation process, causing certain design elements to appear doubled on every coin struck from that die. On a Lincoln cent, collectors often look closely at the date, the word Liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust," because these areas sometimes show visible doubling when a doubled die is present. If a dramatic doubled die were discovered on a 2015 penny with clear and strong separation in the lettering, it could instantly become one of the most talked about modern coin discoveries among collectors. Another fascinating error possibility that collectors always search for is the off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when the planchet is not perfectly positioned inside the press when the dies come together. Instead of the design appearing perfectly centered, the image shifts to one side, leaving a blank crescent-shaped area on the opposite edge. Off-center coins are especially collectible when the date and mint mark remain fully visible, because collectors can clearly identify the coin while still enjoying the dramatic visual error. If a 2015 penny were discovered with a major off-center strike of perhaps 50% or more while still showing the date and mint mark clearly, the coin could attract enormous collector attention due to its rarity and visual impact. Another striking mint error that collectors love to discover is known as a broad strike error. This happens when a coin is struck outside of its retaining collar, the metal ring that normally forms the raised rim around the coin. Without the collar holding the metal in place, the planchet spreads outward under pressure, creating a coin that appears wider and flatter than normal with missing or distorted rim details. Broad strike errors can look dramatic and unusual, and when they appear on modern coins in exceptional condition, they can become very desirable collector pieces. A 2015D broadstrike penny preserved in pristine mint state condition could certainly generate strong interest among collectors who specialize in modern era coins. One particularly intriguing era type involves something known as a clipped planchet. Before coins are struck, the blank metal discs are punched from long strips of metal using large industrial presses. Occasionally, the punch overlaps the edge of a previously punched hole, leaving a curved or straight missing section on the blank planchet. If that clipped planchet continues through the production process and receives the coin design, it becomes a clipped planchet era coin. These coins have distinctive shapes, and collectors enjoy studying the curved missing sections along the edges. A well-preserved clipped planchet 2015D penny would certainly stand out among normal coins and could attract significant collector demand depending on the size and appearance of the clip. Another era possibility that collectors often search for is the presence of die cracks or retained cut errors. As coin dies are used repeatedly to strike thousands, or even millions of coins, they gradually experience stress and wear. Over time, small fractures can develop in the die surface. When the die cracks, the coins struck afterward may show raised lines or unusual metal shapes where the crack occurred. In more dramatic cases, a piece of the die may break away entirely, creating what collectors call a cud, which appears as a raised blob of metal usually attached to the coin's rim. These die errors tell a story about the life of the die and the pressures involved in coin production. If a large retained cud or dramatic die crack appeared on a 2015D penny, it could become a highly collectible example of minting history. Strike-through errors provide another fascinating possibility for valuable coins. These occur when foreign materials such as grease, cloth fibers, metal shavings, or debris becomes trapped between the die and the planchet during the strike. The foreign object prevents part of the design from being fully impressed into the metal, leaving unusual shapes, missing details, or textured impressions on the finished coin. Some strike-through errors create ghost-like outlines or interesting patterns that make each coin unique. A spectacular strike-through error on a 2015D penny could instantly attract attention because of its unusual appearance and the mystery surrounding how the object became trapped in the press. Rotated die errors are another variety collectors enjoy discovering. Normally, the front and back designs of a coin align perfectly with each other. However, if one die becomes slightly rotated inside the press, the reverse design can appear tilted relative to the obverse. When a coin with a rotated die error is flipped vertically, the reverse image may appear sideways or even upside down. While small rotations are sometimes tolerated during mint production, large rotations can create highly collectible coins. A 2015D penny with an extreme rotated die alignment would certainly stand out among ordinary coins and could become a prized item in an era coin collection. Perhaps one of the most dramatic possibilities involves a coin being struck on the wrong planchet. This occurs when a blank intended for another denomination accidentally enters the press for a different coin. For example, a penny design could appear on a blank meant for a dime or foreign coin planchet. Because different denominations use different metal compositions and sizes, the resulting coin often looks extremely unusual. If a 2015D Lincoln cent were struck on an incorrect metal planchet such as a dime or experimental blank, the rarity of such an error could create enormous collector excitement. Another important factor that can dramatically influence a coin's value is its condition. Coin collectors often use a grading scale known as mint state to evaluate coins that show no signs of wear from circulation. A coin graded at the very top levels of this scale with perfect surfaces, strong luster, and sharp design details can become extremely desirable among collectors. Modern coins like the 2015D penny are produced in huge numbers, but very few survive in flawless condition due to contact marks and handling during distribution. If a rare mint error were discovered on a 2015D penny that also achieved an exceptionally high professional grade, the combination of rarity and condition could create a truly remarkable collectible. Professional authentication and grading by respected coin grading companies also plays a crucial role in determining the value of a rare coin. When collectors believe they have discovered an unusual error coin, they often submit it to professional graders who carefully examine the coin using specialized equipment. These experts confirm whether the error occurred during the minting process or if it resulted from damage after the coin left the mint. Once authenticated, the coin receives a grade and is sealed inside a protective holder with certification details. This process gives collectors confidence that the coin is genuine and helps establish its place in the numismatic marketplace. The reason some collectors talk about extraordinary potential values such as $11 million for a coin like a rare 2015 penny lies in the unpredictable nature of the collector market. Value in the numismatic world depends on several factors including rarity, demand, historical significance, visual appeal, and sometimes the excitement generated by a new discovery. When a coin possesses a combination of dramatic mint errors, extremely low surviving numbers, and exceptional condition, it can create intense competition among collectors who want to own a unique piece of mint history. Stories of surprising coin discoveries continue to inspire collectors to examine their pocket change more carefully. Over the years, rare coins have been found in everyday circulation, coin rolls from banks, old collections passed down through families, and even loose change forgotten in jars for decades. These discoveries remind collectors that treasures can sometimes hide in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone curious enough to take a closer look. For anyone interested in searching for valuable coins, the best approach is patience and careful observation. Using a magnifying glass or coin loupe can help reveal tiny details that might otherwise go unnoticed. Look closely at the date, mint mark, lettering, and design elements on each coin. Watch for doubling, unusual shapes, missing details, or strange alignment that might indicate a mint error. While most pennies will be perfectly ordinary, the thrill of the search is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Even if a coin does not turn out to be worth millions, discovering an interesting mint error can still be a rewarding experience that connects collectors with the fascinating world of mint production and history. The story of the 2015 Lincoln cent serves as a powerful reminder that coins are more than just money. Each coin represents a moment in the manufacturing process, a tiny artifact created by powerful machines and skilled engravers working together to produce the currency used every day. Occasionally, that process produces something unexpected, a small imperfection that transforms an ordinary object into a collectible mystery. For collectors around the world, these imperfections are not flaws but fascinating clues that reveal the hidden journey of a coin from the mint to circulation. So the next time you receive change from a store, empty your pockets at the end of the day, or open an old jar of coins sitting on a shelf, take a moment to examine the pennies closely. Look beyond their simple appearance, and imagine the possibility that one of those coins might hold a rare error or unusual characteristic that collectors dream of finding. The excitement of discovery is what keeps the hobby of coin collecting alive and thriving, and sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise.